Another section on globalization, but this time looking more at multinational companies. And we have a nice picture here of Starbucks operating in China. Starbucks, a very famous multinational company. So a multinational is any business that produces goods and services in more than one country. So here are some famous multinationals. So McDonald's have sites in so many countries all over the world, most countries all over the world. Apple not only manufacture in a number of different countries, but they also have retail sites in a number of different countries. Starbucks, again, have retail sites in a number of different countries, and Toyota manufacture in a number of different countries as well over the world. So there's a lot of benefits of being a multinational company. Increased market share because you're selling to a much more global market. You might be able to access cheaper production costs. That's why Apple don't typically manufacture their iPhones in the US. They manufacture them in the Far East. Economies of scale. If you're selling on a greater scale, you've got increased output, so you've got those lower unit costs. You're obviously, as a multinational company, going to have huge costs, total costs, but the unit cost should be a bit lower. This is an interesting one, and this is, I think, why Toyota, one of the reasons, had set up in the UK historically, so you can avoid trade barriers. So if you export your product to a country, you're liable to have to pay tariffs, import tariffs on those exports, which is a tax on imports that governments place on products. However, when the UK was part of the EU, one of the things about the EU was there's no trade barriers between the countries, the members of the EU. So Toyota setting up in the UK meant they could manufacture the products here, manufacture the cars here, export them to France, Germany, Spain, any country in the EU, and avoid those trade barriers, those tariffs. It's a bit different now that the UK has left the EU, but we'll have a look at that in the EU video. There may also be government grants to locate in certain countries because they want to encourage employment, they want to encourage investment as well, so there's a financial incentive. So what is the impact when multinationals, foreign multinationals, set up in the UK? Well, it should create jobs, and they might be introducing new technology. Toyota have done a lot of that, and that should contribute towards economic growth. We should also have increased economic choice. I do feel like my life has been a tiny little bit enhanced by having access to Apple products, Starbucks, McDonald's. Negative impacts can be environmental damage. Now, it's thought that these multinationals have a more negative impact on the environment than a company that has its country of origin as the UK, because maybe they're not as interested or invested in that country, so they might not be as kind to the environment. It does depend upon the multinational company. Again, exploitation of labour. There have been lots of issues with Amazon fulfillment centres. Those are the warehouses where the employees work and pick the products from the shelf and get them ready for sending out. Lots of long hours and working, and it's a bit debatable because a company, are they not as invested in the employees from the UK? Some of these multinationals use a lot of automation that might be providing jobs, but providing quite de-skilled jobs, unfulfilling jobs. They might not be providing a lot of training. And then profits typically don't stay in the UK. So this would be corporation tax, because the multinational company would pay the corporation tax to where their headquarters are. We've got, I think our corporation tax is currently about 19% in this country, but there are countries in the world where they have lower rates of corporation tax. So what some businesses do is they locate in those countries where there's lower corporation tax. So, nice past paper question: which two of the following are most likely to be multinational businesses? So your mobile phone manufacturer, just like Apple, and your oil refining company as well, would be the ones that are multinational, because this one's a national chain, and then the shoe repairer, probably a sole trader. And then we've got a nice past paper question on Costa Coffee, and they operate in 31 other countries around the world. And then the question is the opportunities and threats of operating in a global marketplace for 10 marks. Here are some of the opportunities that they've mentioned, which I've been through a lot of those things. And then here are some of the threats that they face as well: language barriers, problems training staff, fluctuations in exchange rates as well.